Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a question that, well, I bet many of you, especially if you're a secondary student here in Singapore, have definitely seen or thought about. It's that classic O-level exam question. All you need to succeed in life is a positive attitude. How far would you agree? I mean, you scroll through TikTok or Instagram, and this idea is just, it's everywhere, isn't it? All these motivational quotes telling us, just think positive and things will work out.
Right, just manifest it.
Exactly. But I kept thinking as I prepared for this, can it really be that simple? So our mission today isn't about a quick yes or no. Honestly, that wouldn't do justice to how complex life actually is.
No, definitely not.
Instead, we're going to really unpack what goes into genuine success way beyond those easy slogans. We've looked at articles, research, some really interesting insights, basically giving you a shortcut to being properly informed on this.
And that's precisely why this topic is so good to dig into. Because, look, a positive mindset, it undeniably plays a huge role. You can't just dismiss its power. But our sources really argue that this statement, all you need is a positive attitude, it kind of dangerously oversimplifies achievement. It just papers over so many other factors that are just as critical, maybe even more so.
Okay.
So the core idea we're exploring is this. Optimism is valuable, it's essential even, but it's just not enough on its own for success in life.
Got it.
So what we'll do in this deep dive is sort of journey through three main parts. First, we'll look at the real, actual benefits of optimism, why it is important. Then we have to acknowledge the limits, where attitude alone falls short. And finally, we'll explore those other essential things that really complete the picture.
Right, the other ingredients.
Exactly. So by the end, you'll see why, positive attitude is powerful, but it's really just one piece, a big piece, maybe, but still just one piece of a much larger puzzle.
Okay, let's unpack that first part then. Because, when you hear that O-level question, your mind does go to the good stuff first. So why is a positive attitude seen as so essential? Our sources definitely highlight its role as a catalyst, a real driver.
Right.
And what stood out to me was how it forms this foundation for resilience, for perseverance. I mean, setbacks, failures, they happen to everyone, right? It's unavoidable.
Absolutely. And think about it psychologically. Why do some people seem to bounce back, while others just get completely thrown off course by one little thing?
Yeah.
Well, optimistic individuals, they seem to have this mental fortitude. They don't see obstacles as these permanent dead ends or reflections of their own failure.
You reframe it.
Exactly. They frame them as temporary challenges, maybe even learning opportunities. And this approach, this mindset, it lets them pick themselves up after a disappointment, dust off, and keep going. Often with renewed energy. It helps them find creative solutions instead of just dwelling on the problem.
I found some really powerful examples in the source material. Take Oprah Winfrey. Her story. I mean, going from extreme poverty and abuse to becoming this global media icon, it's just extraordinary.
Truly.
And the sources really stress how her unwavering optimism, her almost radical belief in herself, that's what helped her push through rejection after rejection early on. Imagine being told no constantly, but still holding on to that vision strongly enough to change daytime TV forever. She just kept going.
Incredible persistence.
And then there's the classic, maybe more famous example, Thomas Edison. His famous line about inventing the light bulb. He said he hadn't failed, he's just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Right. Such a great quote.
It perfectly shows that power of positive reframing, doesn't it? It's not about pretending failures didn't happen, but about how you interpret them. And that mindset kept him going through what must have been incredibly frustrating attempts.
Yeah, thousands of them.
Exactly. Most people would have given up way earlier.
And what's really key here, I think, is how these examples show that, maybe attitude alone didn't guarantee their success. Obviously, there are other skills and circumstances involved.
Right. Context matters.
But it absolutely provided that crucial psychological foundation. The resilience needed to just keep going when things get tough. It's like the engine inside pushing you forward even when the outside world is saying stop.
Okay, so optimism fuels our internal resilience. But what about how it affects, our interactions with others? I was really interested in how the sources talked about another benefit. Positive people seem to naturally attract opportunities and build stronger connections. Their enthusiasm, it kind of creates this vibe, doesn't it? An environment where people want to collaborate and help each other succeed.
It absolutely does. You can almost call it the magnetic quality of optimism.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit cheesy maybe, but think about it.
No, it makes sense.
People are just naturally drawn to others who radiate confidence, who have that positive can-do energy. If someone seems optimistic and capable, you're probably more likely to offer them a chance, right? Or partner with them or support their idea.
Yeah, definitely.
And this creates this positive feedback loop, a virtuous cycle. Optimistic people get more chances, they get to demonstrate their skills more often, which can then lead to more success, sometimes even independent of just their raw talent compared to someone less optimistic.
The evidence backs this up too. Our sources mention how a lot of business success for many well-known figures can be traced back to their positive outlook and just their ability to get others excited.
Inspiring people.
Yeah, their enthusiasm wasn't just like a nice personality trait, it was a real tool. It helped them attract investors, motivate their teams to really buy into the vision and work hard for it. It's a massive leadership skill. And there's even specific research. Dr. Martin Seligman, he's a big name in positive psychology. His studies found that optimistic salespeople actually outsell their pessimistic colleagues by, get this, 37%.
Wow, that's a big difference.
A huge difference. And the point wasn't necessarily that they had better sales techniques or anything. It was their attitude. It built trust. It built rapport with clients. People just felt better buying from them.
So if you pull back and look at the bigger picture, it really shows that a positive attitude works as this really powerful social and professional tool. It can literally open doors that might stay shut for someone who's just as skilled, but maybe projects less optimism. It's about the energy you bring.
Okay, so we've established optimism is pretty crucial, right? There's that internal resilience engine, and it's like an external magnet for opportunities. Powerful stuff. But, and here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a bit challenging to the popular narrative, while it's vital, the sources strongly argue that relying only on attitude can actually cause some serious problems. It makes you wonder, can you actually have too much positive thinking? And that's where this next part gets fascinating. This over-reliance, it can apparently lead to totally unrealistic expectations, bad decisions, and just ignoring real, practical hurdles.
Exactly. And our sources bring up this term you might be hearing more now, toxic positivity.
Yes, I've seen that around.
It's basically when excessive optimism that isn't grounded in reality, creates this dangerous disconnect. It makes people kind of ignore genuine problems, thinking positive thoughts alone will fix them, instead of actually developing the skills or strategies needed.
Like wishful thinking gone too far.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And when positive thinking inevitably doesn't magically solve practical issues, it can lead to repeated failure and then, feeling totally disillusioned or burnt out. It's like trying to drive a car on positive vibes instead of petrol.
Yeah.
It'll get you far.
There's a really stark historical example the sources used. The dot-com crash back in the late 90s. Remember that whole bubble?
Oh yeah, vividly.
It was a time of just insane, unchecked optimism. Everyone thought the internet would change everything, which, okay, it did, but so many entrepreneurs started companies based purely on that positive vision, with no solid business plan.
Just vibes in a webpage.
Basically. They ignored crucial things like market research, financial planning, who their competitors were. They genuinely seemed to believe their positive attitude alone was enough. And, well, we know how that ended for many of them. Lots of spectacular crashes.
And the big lesson from that, the sources emphasize, is just how dangerous it is to treat positivity like a magic wand, a cure-all. Real, lasting success comes from the synergy, the combination of a positive mindset and practical competence.
You need both.
You absolutely need both working together. It's not just about wanting something badly. It's about having the skills, the resources, and the plan to actually achieve it.
Okay, so for a contrast, an example of someone who got that balance right, the sources pointed to Steve Jobs.
Classic example.
He definitely embodied this. I mean, his optimism, his huge vision for Apple, that was undeniable, right? Central to their success. But, and this is the key point, his positive attitude alone didn't create the iPhone or the Mac.
No, definitely not.
That vision was deeply integrated with his incredible design sense, his sharp business strategy, and his almost spooky ability to time the market just right. He had the positivity, yes, but he also had the deep understanding of users, of the market, and the practical skills to make it happen. That combination was the magic.
And this really brings up a crucial question for you, the listener. As you think about your own goals, maybe even studying for those O levels, how do you strike that balance?
Yeah.
This whole analysis shows that, okay, optimism is necessary, really important, but it has to be combined with practical skills, with strategic thinking, with realistically looking at the situation and the challenges, if you want to achieve something lasting and meaningful.
Yeah.
It's about knowing when to push with positivity and when to buckle down with practicalities.
So wrapping this all up then, what does this mean for us, especially thinking about those big exam questions or really any major goal we have? The core message from our deep dive, coming straight from the source material, is pretty clear. While having a positive attitude is definitely a huge asset, a really valuable tool in chasing success, the idea that it's all you need, that's a dangerous oversimplification. It just doesn't capture the full picture of what achievement really involves.
Exactly. To just reiterate that dual nature, optimism is great. It boosts resilience, it opens doors, it draws people in, making it a vital ingredient in the recipe for success.
Right.
However, real sustainable success demands more. It requires integrating that positive mindset with solid practical planning, actually developing the necessary skills, and taking a clear-eyed look at your circumstances. It's not the only thing you need, but it's a crucial part of a much bigger, more complete approach.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If success isn't just about attitude, what specific practical steps can you take, starting today maybe, to cultivate both your positive mindset and those essential skills side by side?
Good question.
Think about how you could apply this balanced approach to whatever you're working towards. Maybe it is prepping for an exam, or pursuing a passion project, or facing some new challenge at school or work. What really stood out to you from our deep dive today? Is there a new perspective you'll take? That's all for this deep dive. We hope you feel a little more informed and definitely more thoughtful about what it truly takes to succeed.